Hey everybody, and welcome back to another live stream of Super Mario Galaxy 100% Run. It's been a few days, or been about a little over a week since I last did this, if anybody caught my Hyrule Warriors stream the past couple nights. And I could provide an excuse for why I wasn't doing it, but I'm not even gonna bother because there isn't really any good excuse. I just wasn't in the mood, I suppose, but I am in the mood now, so I'm going to go ahead and keep on going for the day. So I think last time I left off, I was doing the fountain. And yeah, I think it is good that I'm back, though. It is good to be back. Let's see, where did I leave off? I left at... Oh. That's right, I left off at Battle Rock Galaxy. Well, I guess that I'm flying in, then. If we're doing the mission that I think we're doing today, and based on this one, I think it might be, I think we're going to be doing the mission that kept me from actually 100%ing this game ever since I was a kid, so buckle up everybody and get ready to understand why. Yep, I think it is the one that I think it is. So yeah, go ahead and buckle up and get ready to see what kept me from being able to beat this game as a kid. It's not this particular mission right here, but it's what comes attached to it. Because just like in Galaxy, or just like in 64, I should say, in Sunshine, there are secret stars, and in this particular level, there is a secret star that I know that I have never been able to beat. Now, people who have played this game will likely know that there are actually two different missions that are like this one right here that I'm about to play. And I managed to beat the other one, even though it's classified as being harder, but I never was able to beat this one. So here's hoping that things will be a different story in this day and age. Maybe I'll beat this one and never be able to beat the other one. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, though, you can tell exactly where I need to go to do the secret mission. But to do that, I need to get some star bits first. And the only way to get enough star bits on this mission is you gotta destroy all the chomps. And that is nowhere near. Let's try that again. Maybe I can just throw it from right here. No, I think I need to get it a little bit closer. There we go. It's kind of interesting that the bombs don't break the chomps, though. Thinking about the chomps, find it funny that just yesterday with the Hyrule Warriors stream, I was able to get the Power Gloves level 3, and that one, the Power Glove, or the Titan Glove, the one that has the Wrecking Ball. That one, the level 3 for that one is a Chain Chomp, so that I think it's pretty amusing and pretty well timed that I'm doing this. And oh, you only need 30? Oh, well, I already had enough before I killed all those chomps, so I guess I didn't need to do that. Anyways, it's time to see the nightmare that is the thing that kept me from 100%ing this game as a kid. Here we go. So, yep, this is the one. This is the this is the specific mission that kept me from being able to beat this game before 100%. This one mission, the trash blowing up segment, where you gotta take all these bob-ombs and throw them at these heaps of trash and just hope that you're close enough that you'll be able to destroy them. And I already have a feeling that this is not going to be the run. Unless I manage to do this somehow on my first try, which, shit, that'll be amazing. I'll be... Oh my god, I might actually get this. Don't tell me I'm actually gonna get this my first fucking try. Okay, never mind. Nope. Yeah, for a second there, I legit thought that was gonna be my first try, and that I was not gonna worry about it at all. That would have been great to have, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Actually, something I wonder about. Oh shit, our... Well, that was not a good throw already. I wonder, what happens if I... Okay, no, it doesn't blow it up. I was wondering if throwing a Bob-omb and then chucking a star bit at it might be able to make it blow it up prematurely. That would have been nice. And nope. I don't think I'm getting this one. Oh, wait, maybe? Yes! Oh my god. Oh my god, yes! Oh my god. I can't... sorry if I'm being too loud, but oh my god, it's 2 tries. 2 tries. I can't believe I did that in 2 tries. Oh, oh my god, that no joke, that actually feels legitimately amazing. Oh man, I am happy. Oh, I am a happy, happy man. Now just watch me mess up on the later version of that. That'll be fun. That'll be a hell of a fun time, I'm sure. And oh, I already got enough to go to the enemy base. I would do that, but I did see a comet in the other terrace. In the, well, the terrace itself, I think is the name. So I'm going to do that first, and based on the color, I'm pretty sure it was a cosmic clone race. So let's check it out. I actually don't recall which particular mission this one's tied to. Okay, that's what I thought. I had a feeling it was Honey Hive. Man, I still can't believe I managed to do that in just 2 tries. When I was a kid, I was never able to beat that mission. Never. I was able to beat the second one, but the first one, that is what kept me from 100%ing this game this entire time. Back in the year of... When did this game come out again? 2007. 2007 was when this came out. And I, since when it came out, never managed to beat it 100%. So here's hoping that I'll be able to get the other one without much trouble. Otherwise, this is gonna be trouble indeed. Nope, I was hoping I was gonna be able to get the head start there. Oh yeah, that's right. You can actually attack the clone, or like jump on it, and it'll give you... Let me see. I'm gonna back jump and then back jump one more time. There we go. I forgot that you could actually like jump on your clone. I think you can even spin into it too, and it'll give you star bits. I wouldn't really say that's the best way to try and grind star bits, though. There's definitely better ways, especially involving the fountain, actually, the fountain observatory. Now, I do remember that, even though I haven't played as Luigi for this, I do know that for the Luigi cosmic races, they are more difficult. I like that detail, by the way, where in the corner you actually get to see your cosmic clone hanging their head in shame. I love that. But I know that for Mario, the cosmic races are generally easier, while Luigi's are more difficult. Like, it'll actually use more strats. It'll do, like, more wall jumps, more backflips, things like that. I think it'll even do long jumps, because I think long jumps are technically faster in this game. So you'll end up hearing it do the long jump sound all the time. But yeah. Now, I'm gonna do something a little weird here. I'm gonna actually go ahead and do Bowser's Star Reactor, because one of the things that Mario Galaxy 1 is known for is the fact that well, you can actually go any order you want, but also, that's not what I was referring to, but you can also, after beating the game the first time, not doing 100%, just beating the game, like going to the final galaxy and facing Bowser, you actually unlock the purple coin comets, which is how you're going to be able to do the 100% run in the first place. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to kind of fast track myself, and I'm going to try and prioritize getting to the end galaxy as fast as possible. That way I can go ahead and just get the purple star comets. That way they're just available to us immediately. Because it can be kind of annoying knowing that you still have... So, oh god. I wasn't thinking that was going to happen. Uh, but no, I know that it can be kind of annoying for people that are trying to complete Mario Galaxy 1. It can be pretty tedious and just repetitive. You might have already gone for all the galaxies before facing Bowser, and then you're trying to 100% the game, but all that's available left are the purple coin comets. Bleh. Purple coin comets. I don't know why I was having trouble saying that. But it can get pretty repetitive and just boring that way, and I want to try and keep things from being boring, so I'm going to do a little bit of fast tracking just so I can get those available, and just so that things are not going to feel so repetitive all the time. Let's see, I want to say... No? Could have sworn that one of these thwomps had like a one-up mushroom above it if you were to jump on top of it. Maybe it was the earlier one. Either way, we're already at the end of this level. It's not a long level at all. I like this though. It's a really weird thing. I don't know why they chose to do this for Bowser. And this is like the only mission I think that he does it in. But for some reason they made it so that Bowser has meteor breath. Like he just shoots out meteorites, which is insane because in the later galaxies, I think even later on in this fight, he only uses his regular fire breath. He never launches meteors. And I'm kind of surprised that Nintendo didn't try and use that in some way. Now, I gotta say, I'm gonna end up talking over it, but I love to death this theme when you fight Bowser. It's so good. I'm gonna try and be quiet for a little bit so you can hear it. Yeah, I do like how whenever you get his tail on fire, I like how it will end up adding these like sort of Latin-esque sounding chants to the song. Makes it really feel super climactic. And nope, gotta go around one more time and boop him once. He's gonna go spinning around, meet him at the other end, and there we go. Wait, did I actually get launched back there? I just saw Mario have like a launch back animation. Yeah, here's what I was talking about. He just uses his regular fire breath. He never uses the meteor breath ever again. I don't even think he uses it in the later levels, I should say, when you're just trying to get to him. I think this is the only time that he ever does something like that, which is weird. Anyways, we hit him one more time, he speeds around, and bam. And just like that, that is the end of that battle. Not hard at all. Sorry, I just got a text. Anyways, let's see. Now, one of the things that I'm going to end up talking about now a little bit, even though it really should be saved for the later Bowser fight, is it's interesting that they give Bowser a spin attack for himself, and it has like this dark aura to it. They never really go into that for anything. Like, they never imply anything by it story-wise or character-wise, or even just like in terms of the power. It's just his version of the spin attack, which I guess is meant to represent just his rivalry with Mario in that sense. Fighting as equals in a manner of speaking. But I do like how it's got this like dark aura to it. Would have been cool to see if he had like some sort of explanation for why he can do the move as well. Maybe there was like an evil Luma or something. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. Hello, Rosalina. And yeah, talking about the center of the universe. That's what I'm going to be trying to speed to the end for. Here's hoping. Well, not here's hoping. More like I'm just trying to do it as fast as possible. Now, let's see. I think actually I will momentarily... Yeah, I will go ahead and do the other galaxies in the fountain itself. Because I know that I did skip one particular galaxy. Well, actually, I think I skipped a couple of them. I know I didn't do Space Junk at all, and I like Space Junk. So I feel bad for skipping over it, so I'm going to make up for it by going ahead and doing all of Space Junk. I know I could go back and finish Battle Rock, but I don't wanna. I wanna play Space Junk. And just another case of Mario Galaxy having a phenomenal soundtrack. My favorite portions of the soundtrack in general for Mario Galaxy are these pieces in particular, where it's a lot more calming feeling. There's just a very serene calm to it all. It makes you really feel the effects of, like, you're just in the vastness of space, and you get to experience all of it. Yeah, I love the calmness of it. It's very nice. And I know that a lot of people would definitely prefer Battle Rock for this for this particular dome over Space Junk, but no, I love Space Junk. I love it in terms of just a simple theme where it's literally just a galaxy filled with random stuff that was kind of just thrown together by the universe itself, I suppose. And God, look at that. Let me see. Here, let me see if I can't... Yeah, it looks like I can't manipulate the camera. I was going to try and point it towards that huge swirling... Here, let me see if I can manipulate it a bit. Can I? No, it's trying to point me towards the spheres. Oh well. I want to try and point it towards... There we go. That's a bit better. God, that's beautiful. Now, imagine if they also had it so that it were, like, actually moving, like, in a swirl pattern. That would have been gorgeous to look at. And also, a little fun fact, this is the ship from Pikmin 2. This is the one that Olimar gets in Pikmin 2. It's not his first one. I really wish that I had Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1. I've only ever played Pikmin 3, mainly because I didn't find out about Pikmin pretty much until well past its time. Or, well, not past its time, but I didn't find out about it until way after the Wii had pretty much died out and the Wii U was becoming a thing. And so I never got to experience Pikmin 1 or 2, especially the Wii version for Pikmin 1 and 2, because generally speaking, I know that a lot of people say that control-wise, those are the better versions, as well as just like it slightly cleans up some of the mechanics. But there's also just the fact that, like, I never grew up with a GameCube, and the Wii would have been a perfect fit for it. I like this part. It's simple, but it's satisfying, just breaking all of these crystals. And you gotta rescue all the Toads before Captain Toad himself shows up. I really should get Captain Toad's game as well. His treasure tracker game. It's a game that I know I know that the portions of it that were in Mario 3D World were a fun little thing. And I didn't necessarily mind them at all. I didn't think they were at all bad, but when they eventually made a game for it, I just looked at it and was like, "Oh, that's neat." But I never really paid it much mind afterwards. I never bothered to get the game. But I should try giving it a go though. It'd be interesting. Ah, look at all the stars and the just I wish I could move the camera around, but God, it's beautiful. I also like this area right here. It's a really fun one. Because you can just see all these things moving in and out of place. And if you're good about it, I want to say, like, right here, maybe. Nope. Never mind. I was going to say, if you're good about it, you can jump into certain locations. And it'll be safe still, because it'll form beneath you. I thought I was going to be safe there, but I guess not. I can, though, like, long jump this way, and I'll be safe right there. Okay. I overestimated how far I needed to go for this. But yeah, I like that, how you can just... Woo! I shouldn't have done that. I was thinking that I was going to have more of a... Thought it was going to be a shorter gap for it, but I guess not. Alright, I'll actually try and take this segment seriously now, I guess. But yeah. When it comes to things I can talk about, I guess I can talk about this. I did mention it in my Hyrule Warriors run just yesterday. I can talk about the fact that I went to go see recently the new DreamWorks Puss in Boots movie, the Last Wish, and man, can I just say, what an incredible movie! Absolutely incredible. Just every little thing about it was something to behold. And like I know I've only seen the movie once, but I already have a feeling that, for me personally speaking, I think that this is probably, in my opinion anyways, one of DreamWorks' best movies that they've made to date. Maybe not the best one overall, I'm not entirely sure. I would still have to go back and watch some of the previous movies, because prior to this movie coming out... Oh yeah, the library's unlocked. But prior to this movie coming out, I would say that my favorite movies from DreamWorks, like if I were to rank it in my top 3, I would say that number 1 for me is How to Train Your Dragon 1. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a really good movie. Don't get me wrong, it's an incredible movie. Visuals are gorgeous, and just everything about it is amazing, but there's just a bit of me that enjoys how the first movie went about things, where the story was simple, and it just worked in a way with the characters that it made just a really good story. Like, it's hard for me to describe. I would have to put more thought into it, but it's just, I prefer it more than the second movie by just a hair, Now, with that being said, if going back to top 3s though, I would put number 2 as the Prince of Egypt, because good lord, the Prince of Egypt is just amazing animation and story. Just everything about it is literally incredible. and I can safely say that it's more than likely DreamWorks' best 2D movie. And if I were to rate a third, prior to Puss in Boots anyways, I would have to say, I mean, it's hard to say because there are a lot of there are a lot of generally really good DreamWorks movies. Now, granted, there are also some not at all good ones like Baby Boss or Boss Baby or whatever it is, and I just never want to associate with it ever. But majority of the time, DreamWorks has had genuine hits with its stuff. But now that Puss in Boots, the new movie, is out, I'm very tempted to say that it's probably the best DreamWorks movie that they've done. Just period. I know a lot of people would say otherwise, depending on their favorite movie, and I can totally get it. But for me, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, oh my gosh, it just does so many things right. It executes, first off, in the animation and just general art department. It is genuinely gorgeous to see. And I don't want to immediately make the comparison because everyone makes the comparison to it. But I know that a lot of people will say that they probably took inspiration from Sony's Into the Spider-Verse. And yeah, you can definitely see how it got trace elements from the movie. But I wouldn't try and say that, because keep in mind, movies take a really long time to make, even with a big animation studio. I don't want to say that they took influence from Into the Spider-Verse, even though Spider-Verse is probably... God, when did Spider-Verse come out again? It was back in, like, what, 2019, probably? And I just realized now that I could have opened up this chest and gotten that red one, because I think the red one's actually home in, I want to say, when throwing. I know that when it comes to underwater, they're faster, but I don't know if they... I want to say that they home in. Anyways, let's see if I can preserve this, because if I try and... Well, I guess I'm not preserving it unless... Hang on. Let me see if I can do this. Come on. Ah! Well, there it goes. I wanted to try and triple jump up to the top. I know you can. I know you can triple jump to the top. I wanted to see if I could keep that shell to get up here, because now we're about to fight not Cammy Koopa from the Paper Mario series. What's her name? Camilla? Yeah, I think it's Camilla. But yeah, going back to Puss in Boots, though, like, genuinely, everything about that movie was just so incredible. And I already want to see it again. Like, I want to take my friends to see it, because they haven't seen it yet. But, like, the animation, gorgeous. The general art style, like, what kind of... I'm trying to figure out what kind of particular theme there was to that art style. Because when it came to, like, the shaders that were used on certain characters, it's different from how things were. Like, Puss himself is not the same as he was all the way back in Shrek 2. Now, obviously, that's because technology's gotten better, as well as just general use of that technology on characters. But I know that for the Puss in Boots 1 movie, his look was pretty different compared to what it is now. And I gotta say, his design now is the best that it's ever looked. It's genuinely so good. But when it comes to the particular art style, I'm having a hard time trying to figure it out. It in a way, it almost feels like it's right out of a. It almost feels like it's right out of a fairy tale book in a way, based on how the art style for some of those things would be. But yeah, there was also the story itself, which was a really good story just overall. Anybody that hasn't seen the movie by now, sorry to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and start talking spoilers anyways. Uh, the the story itself about how it's supposed to be about Puss himself running out of his lives and he's on his last life itself. At first, when the trailers for the movie came out, I was like, this seems like a thing that they're doing. I like the art style that it's doing, so I might keep an eye on it for later. And then I watched the movie, and I'm like, oh my god, this story is amazing. Because it it genuinely does so many things for the story itself in a way that not even Disney movies has dared to try and touch in any way. At least not for a long time anyways, because it really delves into the character of Puss and who he is versus what he is. Because there's Puss in Boots the person, but then there's Puss in Boots the legend that everyone talks about. And he, in a way, is facing the own conflict within himself about being a legend that he has to live up to. But then he ends up being challenged by death on his last life, the same death that he was laughing in the face of at the very beginning of it all, or just this entire time, I should say. And now Death sees that he's on his last life, and he's there to collect it, and Puss legitimately runs away in fear. Like, he ends up running away because he immediately gets his butt kicked, and he's just running, and he ends up hanging up the mantle, and he ends up going into hiding pretty much. And then when he finds out about this wishing star that'll grant him a wish, it's a journey for him trying to get his wish to be able to preserve the legend, as well as, or I should say that along with trying to, God, what am I trying to say? Along with the fact that he was trying to get his wish, there are all these other characters that are trying to get their wish as well. One of them being the return of Kitty Softpaws from the first Puss in Boots movie, and she's trying to get her sort of wish that ends up being compromised with Puss, and they end up realizing, or Kitty ends up realizing that her wish was that she just wanted to have someone to trust this entire time, and she wanted to trust Puss, but she never felt like she could, because he had the legend that he tied himself to, and she never felt that she could live in the same life as that. And so, when it came to what I assume was meant to be their wedding with each other, both Puss and Kitty ended up running, and that ends up coming into play throughout the rest of this movie. But you also run into other characters where they have their own wishes that they want, where there's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And like the Three Bears, like they kind of just joke around with their wishes, but the main focus for Goldilocks and them is that there's a bit of conflict between Goldilocks and the Three Bears, where her wish is that she wants to have a real family, until she ends up learning that by the end of the movie she has had a real family this entire time. And it's just like, while it's the B plot, I do think it's a genuinely good B plot even then, even though like the main focus is meant to be on Puss, obviously. But that doesn't mean that the B plot isn't bad either. I think that is a genuinely good one, and I do like how the Three Bears and Goldilocks are characterized. And it's just a genuinely good moment. But throughout the rest of the movie, like, there's also Jack Horner, who's supposed to be based on the nursery rhyme, which, growing up, I never heard that nursery rhyme before. It was one of those things where I always heard it in passing, but I never actually heard that nursery rhyme before. But I love how, for this movie, Jack Horner himself is just a genuine villain, like a genuine beginning to end villain, and he's not one of those people that he has some sort of backstory to him that makes him a tragic character and you feel like you gotta sympathize with him and all of that stuff that Disney keeps on trying to throw at us. Not to say that there's anything wrong with having a tragic villain who has a very interesting backstory tied to him, but I'm getting really sick of the fact that that is the only thing that Disney seems to know how to do anymore. Where it's either nothing but tragic characters, or it's nothing but... Hey, there we go, nice shortcut. It's nothing but tragic heroes, or not tragic heroes, tragic villains that end up getting a redemption arc in some way, or you end up having to feel like they're justified in their actions in some sort of manner. Usually they end up doing just we gotta justify their actions and then redeem them somehow in the end. But that's been done so many times now by Disney to the point of where it's just repetitive. And while there are some movies where... when I'm saying Disney, by the way, I'm more referring to the Marvel movies, because when it comes to the animated Disney movies like Moana, Frozen, and all that, granted, while yes, there are some really lame twist villains, especially in Frozen, there are genuinely interesting villain concepts where, for let's say Moana, the villain, like, it's not clear really what the villain actually is, but it's more found out over time that what's the lava god monster's name? Tafiti, I think it is. You end up realizing by the end of that movie that she's actually the Earth goddess from the beginning, and Maui is, in a way, the reason that everything is happening. He's kind of a villain in that regard, but he was trying to do it with justified means. He was trying to help the people and all that, yada yada. But going back to what I'm talking about with sympathetic villains or redeeming villains, Marvel's been trying to do that so hard lately, and it's become, honestly, tiring and boring. Because while it can be interesting to keep certain villains and have them come back and be redeemed and interact with the characters in ways that you've never seen before or you're curious to see now, some of these villains, you just end up seeing what they're doing, and, I mean, first off, how can you justify making them a sympathetic villain, like Thanos, in a way, where he's supposed to be... Now, granted, I love Thanos' character, and I know that a lot of people will say otherwise, but there's the whole trying to make sympathetic villain out of Thanos by trying to have it so that his whole thing is that he's trying to curb the population of the planet, or of the universe, I should say. And he ends up having to, like, murder literal trillions of people to get his goal. And there's, well, first off, there's also just the problem of character-wise, he has a lot of conflicting moments where there are times where he feels like he's doing this and he feels bad about it. but then there are other times where he's finding genuine enjoyment in what he's doing, so it's like, what are you trying to tell us? Is this something that you're finding tragedy in, or is it something that you're enjoying? It's kind of mixed feelings in that regard, but when trying to make him a sympathetic villain, it ends up just not working in most ways because I I mean it just ends up not working pretty much. And uh especially lately after Endgame has happened now, pretty much every single villain at this point has been some sort of sympathy character that you're supposed to feel sympathy for. Also, did I genuinely kill that toad? I sent him flying this way, and he never came back. Normally, he's supposed to go to this planet down here, or like I think you can fling him over to this too. But like, he never came back. Well then, I guess I killed a toad. Didn't think that was possible, but alright. I will take it. I will take it. But but yeah, lately when it comes to Marvel villains, they're not the best. Mainly if I were to pull an example right now, the immediate ones are Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, the villain in that one being Scarlet Witch, and how she's meant to be a genuine monster in that movie. Like, she's supposed to be a straight up monster because it's implied by the end of her show WandaVision, even though she was supposed to have had her redemption in that show. It's heavily implied that the Scarlet Witch persona is a separate entity and is taking control of her, and she ends up succumbing to it in a way. And so she ends up causing the main conflict for Multiverse of Madness. But then by the end of that movie, they're trying to make you feel bad for her, even though she literally just killed all these people, and she's literally doing whatever she wants to get what she wants. And she ends up killing, like, the other universes, basically that version of the Fantastic Four, even though, like, obviously it's not the Fantastic Four, it's the Illuminati, but she fucking murders Professor Xavier and Mr. Fantastic, along with this was something that I loved. I loved seeing, like yeah, everyone was happy to see uh, Xavier come back, and everyone was especially happy to see Mr. Fantastic being played by what's his name, the dude from The Office, because a lot of people were thinking that they should make Mr. Fantastic's character when they bring him back be the guy from The Office. But I was happy to see Captain Carter, and this was mainly because of the What If series having just come out just before Multiverse of Madness. Anyways, I'm going way off track at this point. In Multiverse of Madness, Scarlet Witch ends up murdering the entirety of the Illuminati, and by the end of that movie, she ends up becoming redeemed because it's like, oh, I've seen the error of my ways. I'm being a horrible person. I'm gonna go off myself. And by the way, I'm convinced she's not actually dead. We don't see a body, so she is more than likely coming back. But we'll just have to wait and see how that goes in the meantime. But that's one example of the sympathetic villain that Marvel keeps on trying to do. The other two that I can think of in terms of movies versus the amount of characters there are that are being sympathetic villains is the other two movies that came out after Endgame, or well, three I should say, being Sorry, just burped there. But the other three being Thor, Love and Thunder, which that's a movie that I don't even want to think about anymore. But there's that movie where it's Gore the God Butcher, literally the dude that is killing gods. And granted, he has the justification for himself that he was doing what his god wanted him to do, to the point of where he literally lost his own daughter, and he feels awful about it, and the Necron sword, which I feel also was underutilized, he ends up... Oh god, I've never gone outside the barrier before. I didn't realize I was going that far. Let's see how far I can go. Ah, no, it ended up forcing me in. Okay. But, for Gore, the God Butcher, he's supposed to be a genuine villain, like a genuine straight-up villain. Like, one of the biggest villains, I think, in the Marvel Comics. I'm not entirely sure. I have never read the comics myself. I only ever hear by proxy, usually. But he's usually considered, like, one of the bigger threats, at least. And in this movie, he ends up becoming another case of sympathetic villain, where he is redeemed by the end, in a manner of speaking, where Thor talks to him right in front of the literal most powerful being in the universe, whatever it is, eternity, whatever it's called. And he convinces Gore that this is not the way, this is not what his daughter would have wanted, and he ends up coming back to his senses and all that. And he ends up being just another redeemed villain case. Now, I don't know what his character's like in the comics, because I know that the character Love that they introduce in that movie is apparently an original character that's never been done before for Marvel. Like, it's a completely new character that's never been in the comics. This is something new entirely for the cinematic universe. So I don't know what they're going for with that, but it just it sucks that we had again another villain who can't play the role of villain, because everyone just has to be a sympathetic villain now. And I'm gonna end up making the ultimate case in this with what I'm about to mention, and I know that a lot of people are gonna get upset when I say it, but Spider-Man No Way Home, that entire movie is literally nothing but redeeming past villains, where they're all villains that we are supposed to have felt bad for in the movies themselves where they came from, but now this movie's trying to bring them all back and redeem them. And granted, I do enjoy the concept of them getting redeemed, but there's just the issue again of it's a running theme at this point where they're not giving any kind of difference to the villains. They're practically just the same thing at this point. I mean, hell, even with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, both for the first movie and the second movie, both of those movies, they try and make sympathetic villains out of those two. Where in the first movie it's Killmonger, and he's trying to be seen as the sympathetic villain, where for everyone that's watching it, he's supposed to be the guy that represents the one who, like, he still sees racism in the world, and while there may still be racism in parts of the world, he's focusing to look at that and not at what there can be and what there is. And so everyone ends up focusing on the part of he's supposed to be a sympathetic villain in the sense of he's trying to do this thing, but everyone is forgetting the fact that he is also responsible for killing hundreds of thousands of people, including well, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but he is responsible for killing a lot of people, including people of his own race, so I don't see how they can say racism is being justified in that sense, but whatever. But there's also the fact that he ends up killing, like, what is it? He ends up killing, it's thought that he killed T'Challa in the movie, and then he ends up literally making it impossible for the Black Panther to ever come back. At least until what happens in Wakanda Forever. But I'll get into that in a second. But they try and last second make him seem like he got redeemed in a weird way. But like he literally ends up reinforcing his thoughts. Whereas like, nah man, if I were to what wait, you can press B and get out of that? Oh, I did not know that. But in the movie, after being beaten, he literally ends up going, yeah, no, basically if this were to happen again, I would, or if I were to be put in a scenario like this ever again, I would literally do the same thing. And so it's like, how can that be redeeming? But whatever, I'm going into a tangent in that regard. Wakanda Forever, though, that's a case of, dear Lord, why are you trying to make so many more sympathetic villains? Where this guy, he's, well, first off, he's the first introduced mutant for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because they just straight up say that this guy is a mutant. So we got our first mutant, guys. We're eventually going to see Fantastic Four based on whatever those phases were that were listed off. But it's probably not going to be for a very, very long time still. It's also weird how Wakanda Forever was technically the end of Phase 4. Because, or not even technically, it is the end of Phase 4. Like, that was the end of Phase 4. There wasn't an Avengers movie for that phase. So, that's just really weird. And I don't think, now that I'm trying to think about it, I think that for the 5th phase, there's also not going to be an Avengers movie. It's not going to be until the 6th phase, I believe, where they're going to be doing an Avengers movie, but also I think it's the 6th phase where they're going to finally be introducing the Fantastic Four. So they're definitely dragging things out with this particular part of the cinematic universe. But going back into the sympathetic villain thing one more time, and I promise that I'll stop talking about it after this, because I'm sure that people are tired of me saying it. But this particular case is kind of another issue with... It's like another Killmonger scenario in a way, where the guy is a villain. Like, he's straight up a villain. At least to the main cast. When it comes to his people, he's a hero. And for all intents and purposes, he is a hero to his own people, because he's protecting his people. But from our perspective, he's a villain, and he literally does not give a flying fuck who he's going to kill, if it means that he gets what he needs. But then by the end of that movie, we end up having another case of the Black Panther, because the Black Panther's back in that movie. And I'm glad that it was T'Challa's sister. It only made sense that it was going to be her. But this Black Panther ends up having just another case of let's talk it out, and then they talk it out, and then the villain goes, yeah, you're right, maybe I shouldn't be a dick. And then they, granted, they form an alliance, and so now we're going to see how, eventually how that's going to go forth later on. But it's just, can we just have a genuine villain again without having to make them be some sort of redemption type thing? I know that up next, what is it? Which movie is next right now? I know that there's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or not 2, 3, and I haven't been paying attention to any sort of trailers or anything for that, if there even has been any. And I know that, aside from that one, there's also the Ant-Man Quantumania movie, and I don't remember if that's the next one or if Guardians 3 is the next one, but I know that for Quantumania, the villain in that one is Khan, or Kang the Conqueror, like the next big Marvel villain in terms of like his presence and what he is. Like he's literally the villain after Thanos that everyone is like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen next. And granted, we did get to see him in Loki, and he was interesting in that one, where he wasn't even really a villain. He was more like just a guy that was there, and he admits to himself and to everybody that he isn't really a villain in any sense. If anything, this Kang the Conqueror isn't a conqueror at all. He's actually a genuine good guy, because he's one of the good Kangs. He's one of the ones that's trying to preserve the peace, while all the other ones wants to pretty much kill everything, I'm assuming, or take over everything. But by the end of Loki, Loki ends up killing him, and now there's all these other Kangs that that are coming out of the woodwork supposedly, and I'm hoping that we'll get to see more of that in Quantumania, just see what that's going to be about, but also get to eventually see what happens in Loki Season 2, because I really want to see what happens in Season 2, because that particular show was really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it get a continuation. But yeah, after all that long spiel about me talking about sympathetic villains, I guess I can finally get around to the point that I even brought that up in the first place, Jack Horner, to go all the way back to the beginning after what, like 20 minutes of talking about other stuff, maybe longer. I'm just glad to see that we have a genuine villain who's just doing stuff just because he can. And like I like that DreamWorks actually kind of jokes with it for a second, where Jack Horner ends up pulling out Jiminy Cricket from Pinocchio, and he's trying to sound like his conscience, but Jack Horner literally does not give any fucks, and he kind of just messes with Jiminy in a way where he's like, oh yeah, I do have this tragic backstory, and it ends up meaning jack shit, because he literally just goes, yeah, no, none of that actually matters. I just want to conquer everything, have complete control of the magic of the entire world, and just be evil. And that was a genuinely fun thing to see. But if we're talking about the real villain of the Puss in Boots movie, though, the real villain being Death himself, God, what a great version of Death that we've seen. Let's see, is that everything in this particular dome for now? There's a comet, but it's not available right now. But this particular version of Death is just so good. It's so good. Down from his design down to the presence that he just gives off. It's so great and intimidating. Let's see, is this the one that I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think this is the galaxy that I'm thinking of. This is the galaxy that's really good for grinding star bits if you don't care about losing lives every so often. Especially since every 50 star bits gives you a 1-up. But Death in that movie, like his presence is genuinely terrifying at points. like every time he pops up on screen for Puss, he's literally terrified by what he's seeing, and he ends up running away up until the very last confrontation, where he has no choice but to stand up and try and defend himself. And then he ends up seeing all the lives that he had before. And then he ends up seeing the life that he was having here and now. And he finally understands what it means to live his life. And he stands up against death. And the whole battle against death, by the way, is just genuinely good. The choreography and everything was so well done. And then in the final moments, like, Puss ends up going and kind of using what Death said against him at the beginning of the movie, where he struck down Puss's sword and he just stood there in front of him telling him to pick it up. And then at this point he is just telling Death, like, he knocks down one of his weapons and he tells Death to pick it up. And it's like, like, that's poetic. That is straight up poetic. It's so good. Can I reach that from here? Come on, I want to reach it. Alright, fine. But yeah, genuinely a really good movie. Anyone that hasn't seen that movie till just yet, you're doing yourself a disservice by not seeing it. It's just absolutely incredible. And I genuinely hope that we get to see more movies like this out of companies like Pixar and Disney and DreamWorks too, because it's been a long time since I feel like I've seen a genuinely good animated movie that isn't something like Spider-Verse or Mitchell's vs. the Machines recently. Like, those movies are both good, don't get me wrong. I love the art style, I love the story for Mitchell's vs. the Machines. I might just be Spider-Man out right now, but don't die, don't die, don't die. God, I'm just trying to get this one up. But I think I'm just a bit Spider-Man out lately, because let's see if I can reach this. There we go. But yeah, I feel like I've just been Spider-Man out too much lately, because there's been the No Way Home movie, there's been the Spider-Verse movie, and it just feels like we've been having nothing but Spider-Man for a while, and I want to see something else. And unfortunately, it doesn't feel like Disney's been doing anything all that impressive with their stuff lately. I know that there's that movie Strange World that came out not too long ago. Like, I think it actually came out just at, what, the end of December or something. But I feel like that movie in particular is one, like, I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched it, but from the trailers, it really doesn't feel like anything special to me. It just feels like another movie that exists. So, I don't know. I don't really have any plans on watching it. But yeah, that's my very long rant and spiel about Puss in Boots and anything and everything that had to do with animation industries in general. And I guess Marvel as well, with my issues with that. So we can go ahead and get back to this. And, ooh, I do see a comet over here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that right now, just so it's out of the way. Because, again, I don't want to have to worry about comets that appear, I don't do them, and then they disappear, and I don't know when I'm going to get them back. Which, granted, there is that Luma near the front of the observatory where I can give it star bits, and it'll usually pop up with any kind of comets that are available. But I just want to try and get these handled at an early enough time. And let's see, we got our first Daredevil run with Top Maniac. Now, I know I got hit a few times my first time around, but assuming that I'm actually going to bother being competent with this, I should be good. I know that the Daredevil runs can leave a lot of people pretty stressed feeling, especially one particular Daredevil run that I know for me as a kid was pretty difficult, and that's going to be showing up in the next observatory, actually. Oh god, Mario, stop. I was holding up, and Mario kept going forward, and I was like, oh god, am I really about to run into that thing? And I was very close to proving myself wrong about Daredevils being not too hard if you just don't stress out. Now, I do want to try and take out these smaller guys, though, because if I don't, then I might end up getting knocked around too much. And then for this one, I think I can just get away with doing that immediately. And there we go, just like that. Not too hard at all. I know I'm just standing here, but I'm kind of paying attention to the details of the spin attack animation right now. Because after that boss death, I noticed the white Luma just hanging up above the head. And I've always known that that was there, but I've never paid too much attention to it. But I'm looking at it now, and it's actually pretty interesting. You can actually see the sparkles that come off the spin attack itself. They end up staying, and then they form a ring, and then the ring comes back to the center and becomes the Luma. So it's like the spin attack move itself is like you scattering the Luma and attacking with like its energy or something, I don't know, and then it reforms itself. That's pretty cool. I will say it is a bit of a shame how both for Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2, whoop, I did not mean to do that, back out. It is a bit of a shame for Galaxy 1 and 2 that they didn't really have any kind of genuine relationship between Mario and the quote-unquote partner in this case, because we had I know for 64 we didn't have a partner, but I know that for 64 DS, even though they weren't partners, we had other playable characters in the form of Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario, and that's pretty cool. I actually do have Mario 64 DS, and I have never bothered to touch it. I really should get around to playing it, but I just haven't. Anyways, I think last time I went under here when there wasn't any power, and yeah, there's a 1-up mushroom here now. And it doesn't show up until you've brought power into this area, so that's interesting. But going back to the partner stuff, it's interesting how for Sunshine, Mario had the Flood, and the Flood would, not all the time, but Flood would talk with you. And so you had sort of a bond formed with Flood, and I know that by the end of that game, they tried to have a whole, oh no, Flood's dead thing, but like genuinely Flood was still alive, so, because I mean, first off, it's technology, and EGAD could easily repair it, so I don't know what the whole, oh no, it's dead thing was all about. But then for Galaxy 1 and 2, it had the Luma here, but you never really talk with the Luma, you never engage with it in any way. At least not for the first Galaxy game. I know that for the second one, they have it so that the story starts with you running into the, oh god, that's right, I have to do a tutorial for this. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. So, for the Switch, apparently, you can blow into the Switch itself, I guess, because if I remember right, the Switch does have a mic function somewhere on it. But you can actually blow on your Switch, and it'll do the blowing like right here. That's actually pretty neat. I'm sure that I'm never going to use it, but that's neat. But yeah, for Galaxy 2, like, they bring the Luma back, and they try and implement a sort of thing with the story where it's like he's trying to find his mom, but that's literally the only thing we get out of the rest of the story. We never see the Luma interact with Mario or any other character for that matter. Ugh, careful. This area is actually a bit challenging considering, or not really challenging, the challenge of in itself is the fact that I'm playing this on Switch and the gyro is not the best thing ever. So even though I'm keeping myself generally stable, the cursor keeps on moving all over the place, and I can center it by holding R like this, where it just stays on me at all times. But eventually I gotta let go, obviously. Now, if I am right, we're at a part where I can do a skip. Where if I do this, yep, I can walk across these, and oh god. I think I slid off a little too much to the side. But I know that I can triple jump here if I don't fall into the sludge a second time. I know I can triple jump here, get on the wall there, and then get over to that star. I'm going to try it one more time, and if I don't make it, then I'm just going to do it the normal way. Let's try a long jump. There we go. But, for Galaxy 2, there's really nothing for the Luma until the very end of the game, where you run into Rosalina, and then that's pretty much it all over again. Like, you see nothing else from that Luma. But then we have the scenario with Cappy, where in Odyssey, he's another very engaging character. Not necessarily engaging in the sense of, oh man, he's so interesting and keeps you wondering what he's going to do kind of thing, but more like he's just constantly talking with you. And so you get to form more of a connection with him. But for Galaxy and Galaxy 2, they don't really do that, so it's kind of a shame in that regard. I know that for Galaxy 1, even though you're not talking to Rosalina all that much, you do form a connection with Rosalina because of how she's first introduced, but then also later on in the game, when you eventually unlock the kitchen, which we have done right now, in fact. I'm actually doing what I said earlier in this particular stream, where I'm going to go for the bosses now and try and focus on getting to the center of the universe faster so I can get those purple comets available. He hit me right back into the coin. Up! And I end up going over him that time. But I guess that for Galaxy 1 anyways, it's supposed to be that you're engaging more with Rosalina, in a sense. Because you have the library where you learn her backstory. And for Galaxy 2, I guess that Lubba, the giant fat guy, he's supposed to be the... I'm gonna miss this, aren't I? Yeah, I was... Oh, no, never mind. I didn't miss it. So that was good. But I know that for Galaxy 2, they probably wanted it so that Lubba was the engaging character, like the character that would engage with you. But as far as I'm aware, every person that I know that's ever talked about Lubba does not give a crap about him. So there goes that. What do you have to say, Toad? No, you have literally nothing to say. What are you even doing here, Toad? Why are you on Bowser's ships? Anyways, I'm actually gonna go ahead and get one of these mushrooms here, just to be safe, because I know that this boss coming up, it can get a little crazy if you aren't paying attention to things. Whew, for a second I thought I was about to get hit there. I thought that I did that too early. But yeah, I just thought it would have been more interesting to see some sort of engagement with the Luma, even though granted as a kid I never paid much mind to it. I always paid attention more to Rosalina, and I'm sure that was the point. But now we got our second Bowser Jr. battle, or I guess technically first, because the first battle was against Mega Leg, and this one is actually against Bowser Jr. I think actually that, if I'm thinking about this right, I think this is actually the only time we fight Bowser Jr. in this game. Because, let's see, after this we have the bedroom, which is another Bowser battle. And then after that we have the engine room, and for that you don't even fight Bowser Jr., you fight King Caliente a second time from the beginning of the game, but now it's quote-unquote harder because there are tiles that, wow, I just whiffed that entirely. But now there's supposed to be like tiles that are sinking into the ground or into the lava, and that's supposed to make you, I guess, think that you're gonna have a harder time. But yeah, I think this is the only time in this game, anyways, that we fight Bowser Jr. directly. I'm trying to remember for Galaxy 2. I know that there's the battle against him the second time, where it's in that giant. Oh no, we do fight him twice. We fight him once in that hammer robot thing, where you gotta use Yoshi to shoot bullet bills at the giant blue nipples. And then there's the second fight, where you're fighting the tower tank thing. And I actually like that fight quite a bit. I think the Yoshi battle against him is a bit generic, but I do like the second fight against the tower, because it feels a lot more engaging. Sorry about that, I was taking a swig of water. Alright, so yeah, we unlocked the bedroom, and based on that text, because I didn't remember if this was the case or not, I didn't remember if we actually had to get the engine room running or not to be able to get to the next stuff. I know that we still need to get 60 stars, and I'm only at what? I'm only at 29, so I'm not even halfway there yet. But I still want to try and hurry up and get to those purple coins as fast as possible. And so we got two galaxies that I really love doing, and then we have Dusty Dune Galaxy. I think I'm going to go ahead and get Dusty Dune Galaxy done and out of the way, because I do not like Dusty Dune Galaxy one bit. I think that this is, without a doubt in my mind, maybe not necessarily the worst galaxy in this game, but it is definitely my least favorite galaxy in the game, because thematically speaking, I do not like desert levels. They are some of the most boring things to me. And I don't get why we keep using them as an aesthetic, excuse me. Well, I guess that's what Dusty Dune has to say to me. Alright then. Well, the feeling is mutual in that regard. But yeah, genuinely, I am pretty tired of the desert theme in any and all kind of video games. The only time, I want to say, where a desert theme was used and I actually liked it was uh, in the it was in the artistic game slash platformer slash, was it even a puzzle game? I don't even remember. But it was the game Gris, which I think I still have on my Switch here. I think it's on Switch anyways that I have it. Whoop. Let me see. Let me see. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, well, I thought I had it. Either I've deleted it, or it might be on a different console than what I'm thinking. But, you can just look up the game Gris, Gris, and you'll have an idea of the game that I'm talking about. I am not going to make that. Let's get back in that tornado and let's try one more time. But it's a really beautiful game. It has a watercolor art theme to it, and it's just a generally gorgeous game overall. And I love the use of the colors in that game, because one of the colors, or the colors that they use for the desert, is primarily red. Like, there's not even yellow, like how deserts normally would look. It's like all red, and it's really interesting to look at. I do like it quite a bit. Alright, and I took the shortcut up here, and I get some star bits, and I get some extra health. So that's nice. I don't even think there's a boss battle. Yeah, excuse me. I don't even think there's a boss battle in this particular galaxy, so it doesn't even have a boss fight to give a name to. Granted, it's not like Mario bosses are anything super interesting, but like, there's just so much to Dusty Dune Galaxy that ends up making it drag on for so long, and I just don't like it. It just keeps going, and I just want it to end, but it never ends. Now, granted, I do say that I'm tired of the desert aesthetics, at least in games like platformers anyways. Usually other games, like RPGs and things like that, have a better use of the desert theme in some regard. Not all the time, but most of the time usually. And actually, I know what I'm about to do here. I'm about to do that, because that thing is literally no threat as long as you make sure to hit the red part. I don't even think it respawns. But, yeah, game developers, especially Nintendo in particular, can we finally move on from just the desert aesthetic and try and have something else? It's just a very overdone theme, and it just needs to go ahead and just be moved on from. Now, granted, I say that, and I'm sure that there are certain themes that other people are getting tired of as well, like maybe the lava world. Though usually not a lot of people complain about the lava world in some way. I know a lot of people will usually end up complaining about water worlds, but that's usually because video games don't have good water levels most of the time. Most of the time, I'd say. When it comes to the games that I've played that have water levels, I'd like to think that most of the ones that I've played anyways are generally good. I shouldn't have done that. I was going to try and ground pound into that sling star, but I was too far to the right. But yeah, we're just trekking along again with the desert. If I can give one positive to Dusty Dune, though, it does have a interesting enough song for the area. That's probably about all I can say about it, though, is that it just has an interesting enough song. It kind of sounds like it's a bunch of... It kind of sounds like a mix between what you would hear in a just stereotypical desert-esque theme, but it also has like a bit of a ruins-esque theme associated with it. And I missed completely. Let's try that again. Like last time, I'm noticing that I'm not really bothering to use the spin by actually spinning the nunchuck itself. You can probably tell that from just the gameplay. I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm used to just using buttons at this point again versus using motion controls in some way. If I were to guess, I would say that's it, because I don't really have a problem with using actual motion of my hand to do the spin itself. Because I know that when I played Mario Galaxy back on the Wii, I had to do it all the time. So if I didn't get sick of it back then I would hope I wouldn't get sick of it now. Let's see, what time is it right now? We're about an hour and a half in. I'll keep going for a while longer. Actually, hang on, I just noticed, even though I'm doing Dusty Dune, I think it's because I didn't do any of the other galaxies in the kitchen, other than the Bowser one, but I just noticed that the Hungry Luma for the kitchen didn't pop up. I'm going to keep on doing Dusty Dune, though, because, again, I just want to get it done and out of the way as soon as possible. But hey, at least that's something I can say going for this particular run of Super Mario Galaxy that probably not a lot of you have seen out of other players, where you're definitely getting a more unique experience out of it, where I'm doing a lot of levels completely out of order. I love doing that. I love bopping them on the head. And there are little moments like that where there are just neat little details to everything. Let's see, how many star bits do I need for you? I need 20. Okay, I already have that many. We can go ahead and get you out of the way since you're right here, pretty much. Unless you are where I'm supposed to be going next, I don't recall. No, I do not believe that is the required pathway. In fact, if I'm right in assuming, I think that this is where we're gonna get our first green star. Because if I remember right, I want to say that this particular mission will result in a green star. Don't quote me on it, though. I do not fully remember. I know that Luigi, one of the Luigi missions, which I'm just realizing, by the way, since I didn't do the Boo Mansion Galaxy, I'm not going to be able to unlock Luigi just yet and do his missions. But I know that Luigi, one of his missions, has a green star tied to it. And I believe that another one of the galaxies in the kitchen, if not the kitchen, the garden, or not the garden, the bedroom, more than likely have the other green star that I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's just things like this with Dusty Dune where it's a lot of going back and forth. And it's just a lot of slow stuff that you know it's going to be taking a while. Can I get over to that one? Yeah, I can. And I think the last one is this way, if I'm right. Yep, there it is. And if I'm right in remembering, this is a green star, I think? Yep, it's a green star. So that's 1 down, 2 to go. And with that, we also are at our 31st star, so we're almost halfway there to getting to the center of the galaxy anyways. And yep, this is basically just the point where they talk about the green stars and how collecting all of them will get you the trial galaxies anyways, which, looking back at them, I realize the trial galaxies themselves are not so much trials as they are just, hey, remember the gimmicks from earlier in the game that we had you do like once? Well, we're going to have you do it again. But now it's going to be like way more difficult. But I can get into that more when we eventually do those green trials. In the meantime, back to Dusty Dune we go again. Ah, come on. I was hoping I was going to get all of those in one go. I always miss one. I never managed to get all of them. Let's see, though, if I can get this one. Ah, I was too late to jump. Oh well, we can just do that. Weirdly enough, though, that is the only Pokey in the game, I think. If I'm remembering right, I think that is the only Pokey that we see. Except it's not even Pokey, it's just... It doesn't even have spikes, it's not Pokey at all. It's just... Melanie, I guess. Maybe that's its name, Melanie. That is a genuine name in real life. So who knows? No, I know I went about that the entirely easy way, because if I remember right, on one of these planets, there is, yep, a rainbow star. But hey, now I can carry the rainbow star all the way to over here. And then we can go to the next planet, and I can take out these dry bones, because invincibility will actually permanently get rid of the dry bones, so you never have to deal with them again. And I was too late on that one. And then we got this segment right here where we got to get all the blue chips. And let's see if I can get this one. I don't think it's possible to get these all in one go, because I know that there's this one here. Maybe if I long jump around, I can do it. And yep, I was able to do it all in one go. If I hadn't messed up. No, let me go back. I want to prove it. I need to prove it to myself. I know it might be faster to go the other way around, but I don't care. See, you can do it all in one go. Let's see if I can long jump back. Okay, no, it's definitely not worth it. It is literally gonna take me longer to just go that way than to just do it this way. And let's go ahead and head on over this way. And when it comes to this planet, I don't think I ever bother to go this way. I always end up taking the green pathway because I know that the green pathway takes you to like a pipe or something. But this one looks like it just takes you to a launch star, so I can take the green path. Assuming that it does do what I think it does. If I can actually get moving. Come on, move, Mario. I know it's a quote-unquote more challenging pathway because of those laser beams. And yeah, we got ourselves a warp pipe here. And it leads us to this little bonus room, but I think we also are able to... It's the same bonus room from back in Good Egg Galaxy, but I think that this one, on top of giving you, I'm assuming, extra lives, yeah, it leads you to another pipe and lets you go somewhere else. And what's different about this one is that instead of just one 1-up mushroom, you get 3 1-up mushrooms. So that's very nice, very nice. And I'm already at 33 lives. Getting extra lives in Mario games are incredibly easy. And if I recall correctly, if you were to just take that launch star, you would have just ended up over at this planet. I know I am not looking forward to the purple coin star for this galaxy because it's on this planet and I do not like it. Now apparently it's not a timed one though. I was just recently watching a different live stream where they were doing Dusty Dune purple coins, and apparently, well, first off, apparently this is the wrong way, so I just wasted time. But apparently the purple coin mission for this one is not timed, which is weird because I remember it being timed. I know that this segment is not timed. I'm pretty sure anyways. I don't remember it being timed. But I could have sworn that for purple coins that segment was timed. And ended up just making things less fun as a result. Yeah, this whole segment, the entirety of Dusty Dune Galaxy is just go here. All right, you did a thing here. Now go back where you just were and go do a thing there. And then go back again because now there's a thing that unlocked here. Because guess what? We're about to do that right now with this. Alright, this might be what I'm thinking of, because this platform is actually timed. So we're going to want to try and speed up a little bit. And I'm taking way too long just by doing that. No! No! Put me down, put me down. Let's see if I can long jump here. Let's see if I can triple jump here. And we're good. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. In regards to the purple coins, maybe there was... Maybe my wires are just getting crossed with the timing of that. Oh, sorry. Tapped my Joy-Con against my mic. Alright, there should only be one mission left for Dusty Dune, thank God. Unfortunately, though, I know that this galaxy has, what, 3? Count them, 3 comets on top of the purple coin comet. I think this is one of the only levels in the entire game that has 7 stars tied to the entire galaxy. I don't know of... Actually, I can't think of any other galaxy that had 7 stars tied to it. So on top of this particular galaxy feeling like the longest to complete just level-wise with the repetitive just style of desert. It also is the longest to 100% the entire galaxy because it has 7 levels, or 7 stars you gotta get from it. And I know that for this particular mission, this one has a secret star tied to it as well. In fact, I think, if I am right, it's over there. Which, hello, M Starbits, I didn't even know you were there. I was just looking over there just to look at it. And if I recall right, the way that you get to that particular galaxy, or that planet, I should say, is that there is a Hungry Luma or something? Or not a Hungry Luma, I think there's something at the base of this tower, maybe not? There's some means of getting over there, and it's involved with this particular planet, I'm pretty sure. I know that we have to collect all of the launch star pieces here. I know we got one, where is it, right here. And then we need to take a Koopa shell. And then make our way down to this one. Not hard at all. But that could definitely take longer if you don't know what you're doing. Thank you, Koopa. Okay, is this planet that I'm thinking of. You gotta stomp this, and then you gotta get all these music notes, and it'll unlock the optional path. Or the optional star, I should say. And I almost missed him, actually. that was a little too close of a run. Because I know that you're supposed to... hit the... that plant with one of the coconuts. And here we got, for this secret mission, we gotta wait for one of these bullet bills, I'm pretty sure. We gotta have it follow us. I don't think they explode over time. I hope they don't. But I know that we gotta lead one into one of these cages. Not the one that I was trying to lean it to, but okay. And this is another case of it can end up feeling like it's taking forever, because if you miss with the bullet bill when it's going up, you're supposed to have the tower come back down. But if you're good about it, you can lure it. And if you're good about directing it, which I was not there, you can get that star. Actually, let me get that rainbow star. That way I can destroy all these dry bones. You know, assuming I don't get hit. That would be nice. Let's try it one more time. And there we go. Let's go ahead and slaughter some undead. We got ourselves a whole bunch of star bits for it. Nice. And I'm assuming we got a 1-up. I will say one of the details that no one really talks about. I like how when you're running as Rainbow Mario, he eventually goes fast enough that he basically pulls a Sonic and Naruto, where he puts his arms behind him. Because it makes him more aerodynamic, am I right? Anyways, come on, Bullet Bill. And there we go. At least I was able to make that go somewhat faster. But, unfortunately, because I can't complain about this galaxy enough, I still have to make this tower come back down and make it take a longer time. Thankfully, the star is nice enough to actually come with the tower. Otherwise, that would just be adding tedium on top of tedium, having us bring the tower down, only for us to hit the switch to get on the tower again so we can get back up. Knowing Nintendo, though, I would not be surprised if they tried to do that. What do we got? Oh, looks like the next Bowser base has been unlocked. Now, unfortunately, I know that I still am nowhere near 60 stars. I'm only at 33. With two 666 star bits. Oh no, that is not good. That is not good at all. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take care of the last Dusty Dune star, and then I won't be surprised if immediately after it pulls up one of the comets. Because I know that there is a comet for a time trial, I think it is, a speedrun comet where you got to do it under a certain time limit. And I think it's for this mission right here, actually, so after I do this mission, it's probably going to unlock right after. And that'll be our 6th star until we get around to the Purple Coin Comet. Those chicken enemies are really weird. This is the only level they show up in, but they're never used ever again. Like they're supposed to be some kind of chicken bomb dropping thing. It's really weird. Anyways, let's see if I can get on the tower quick enough. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and grab you. And... oh, no, 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 no! Ah! I'm gonna have to climb back up, I suppose. And there's one, or there's three, I should say. And then there should be one up this chute, and then all that's left is the Koopa one. Thankfully, they do spawn a Koopa shell up here if you don't have one. Let's hold back, and we're good. Now I see a mystery block right there. I'm assuming that's probably more star bits, but I'm not really aching for star bits right now. I got plenty. Thank you, Koopa, once again for acting as a platform. But now this time, now that the secret's done, all we have to do is just whack a coconut into the plant. Real quick, let me see if I can get this crab enemy, because I know that if I get him, I get a 1-up. Nice. Let's go ahead and do the last area. Or no, looks like we got one more spot before. Okay, no, we do have one Pokey. One. I think we have a coconut somewhere that we got. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is actually a neat concept. This is actually pretty neat, using the gravity mechanic to the advantage. Because we can actually spin the coconuts, and then the gravity of the other planet, because it's so high up, it'll end up getting latched onto that other gravity. That's actually pretty cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and whack it at the Pokey. And then let's get up there and take him out. But yeah, if I'm right, I think that is the only Pokey in the game. Aside from, obviously, when we do the fast comet for this stage. One of the things I will give praise to Mario Galaxy 4 for majority of the time, because sometimes it can be a bit buggy still. I will give praise to Galaxy for the fact that it manages to do anti-gravity in a good way. And I would sincerely hope that a game that has its whole mechanic riding around, going around space and other planets, I would sincerely hope that they've got gravity down. But it genuinely does, most of the time anyways, work very well. I would say the worst points are any time where you're on a spherical planet that's just really small. Like those spheres from back in Space Junk Galaxy, I think. Because those ones are so small and the camera fixes itself in one position that it kind of makes it awkward to try and navigate Mario. I was trying to be fancy there. No. No. Alright, I guess I'm not fancy. And yeah, the sand stops right there, so it's no threat. But, for the most part, aside from segments like those, Mario in the 3D gravity mechanic works fairly well. I know that in my last session I had issues with Mario where he kept running around in circles, and I think that's from the same problems that were going on with. I knew it. I knew you were gonna pop up. Ugh. All right, fine. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. That way we just can say that we are completely done with Dusty Dune until Purple Comets. And then when I do the Purple Comets, I am going to be trying to aim for Dusty Dune first, so I can just say that it's done, and I never have to touch it ever again in my life, probably. I do apologize if there is any kind of noise going on in the background. If you don't hear anything, then good, but if not, one of my roommates is currently using the shower, and unfortunately my room, in terms of placement of everything, my room is directly next to the bathroom itself, so any kind of noise that's coming from the bathroom, I can hear it, but I'm hoping that the mic is not picking it up anyways. And it looks like I was wrong. I thought that it was the other mission that was... Oh man, no 1-up. Or not a 1-up, but no Rainbow Star. I thought the Rainbow Star was still there, but I guess not. But for the Speedy Comet for this, I thought that it was for the other mission that we had just done that the Speedy Comet would show up. But I guess I was wrong. And I see that the dry bones aren't here from last time. That's an odd detail. No, Mario, go back! Okay, fine, I guess that this trip I am gonna have to take at least 2 trips. Let's see if I can get this one, though, at least. And then I'm gonna try and space myself better with this one. No, Mario! Oh, my... I did that twice. I did that twice. Anyways, let's grab this one, and I'm gonna have to take a 3rd trip round just to get back to that position. Not like I'm in any hurry, though. Come on, let's get it. Alright, thank you. I didn't want to have to make this a 4th trip. I keep on wanting to try and use the camera, even though I know that for this game, it was still when Nintendo had the mindset of, no, you can't have free roam camera, that's bad. Free roam camera is a dumb idea. We're Nintendo, we do things our own way. And then Odyssey came out and they were like, yeah, we need to just have a free roam 360 camera. And thank God in that scenario, because Odyssey I don't think would have been nearly as fun otherwise. Now this is interesting too. I noticed that for the Speedy Comet, Mario, oh my God, Mario. So sometimes Mario will let you turn around 180, and I think that's when you're just standing still. But sometimes, if you're trying to turn around and you're moving, like right there, for example, Mario instead will do a little runaround. And I don't like that. I think that is something that was from 64, if I recall right, even though I haven't played 64 aside from the one time. But I have seen it be an issue with people that have played 64, and a lot of the time they end up complaining about it, and I see that it's something that they brought back for Galaxy, and it's not fun. Because I nearly died as a result of it. Anyways, we got plenty of time. If I can triple jump here, and we're good. Speedy Comet, done and over with. And with that, we no longer have to deal with Dusty Dune Galaxy until Purple Comets, so I am grateful for that. In the meantime, let's celebrate. Let's see, excuse me, we're coming up on 2 hours. I think I will celebrate by doing the Bowser mission. Doing the Dark Matter plant. This is a mission where I both like and don't like it. I like the battle against Bowser, but most of the level itself has this gravity gimmick that it's doing, as you can see right now just from this. And I don't like it. I don't like navigating it anyways, because while the 3D gravity works generally well, the 2D gravity at times feels a little wonky. But here's hoping that I'm just complaining and that this won't actually be as hard as it seems. Because I know that anytime we approach any of these platforms, or not platforms, any of these segments where the gravity switches, Mario's gravity itself kind of goes a bit weird. Let's see, I think if I remember right. Oh wait, no, go back! I want to say, if I remember right, if I backflip up here, yep, there are coins up here for some reason. And a block with even more coins, which is really weird because in the Galaxy games, coins are probably one of the most worthless things in the game. Like, legitimately, they are some of the most worthless stuff. They do absolutely nothing aside from collecting 50 gives you a 1-up. In Galaxy 1, they're pretty worthless. Anyways, I know that for Galaxy 2, they have Lumas that will eat coins, or that you need to feed coins to. And so you need to try and collect as many coins as you can. But for this, like, yeah, they have coins everywhere. But aside from trying to get a 1-up, which again, 1-ups are plentiful. I mean, there's a 1-up right there. There's not really a point in collecting all these coins. Not in this game, anyways. Dear God, I'm playing with fire. Or I guess I'm playing with dark matter in this case, which the dark matter is absolutely horrifying to think about in this game because, like, technically it's basically just the same as if you were walking in, like, quicksand, or if you hopped into lava, although I guess lava you still survive for a second because he launches himself in the air. But for the dark matter, like, it's basically quicksand, but the animation that it plays when you get hit by it, or you end up falling into it, is like Mario just gets unmade. Like, he gets unexisted, and it's kind of terrifying when you think about it. Anyways, it's this segment in particular where sometimes it can be, well, that was my own damn fault, but it can sometimes be a bit wonky. But yeah, like I was just saying, you see Mario there, he just got unmade. That's terrifying. And there goes all the coins that I collected, so I can't even get a 1-up even if I wanted to. Again, though, not like it matters, because 1-ups are plentiful in this game. I have 48 of them, so I'm fine. And just like that, I'm back to 49. Okay, let's not be a daredevil right now, Mario. Let's not. Let's, You know what, Mario? I know you got 49 lives, and I was just talking about Puss in Boots and his movie and the fact that he has 9 lives. You really should learn to appreciate your lives, Mario. Because one day, there ain't gonna be any 1-up mushrooms for you to pick up, my boy. You're gonna be down on your last life, assuming that assuming Nintendo, I should say, decides to make an actually difficult game once again. Which, granted, I'm saying that, but, like, technically Mario games have difficulty in them, like genuine difficulty in segments at the end of the 3D games, where after you've gotten everything, you maxed out your lives, you gotten whatever else sort of requirement you need, there's always going to be that bonus level that Nintendo throws at you and just makes everything difficult and just makes you want to cry. Now, for this Bowser battle, like I was talking about before, he ends up getting a spin attack, which I didn't realize this. I never knew this growing up, because I just always thought to avoid it. I never knew that you could spin into him when he's doing the spin attack, and you'll actually, like, deflect him. I never knew that. But it's pretty cool that you actually deflect him. That's legit cool. I'm kind of surprised in a way that, granted, Nintendo usually doesn't do something like this. I'd expect it more out of something like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry or something, where, like, your rival character ends up hitting you with a similar attack as yours, and then you enter into, like, some sort of clash, and then you gotta like, mash the button to get out of that clash and win it, otherwise you end up taking damage instead. I will say, it is a shame, though, knowing that for this game, and for... Oh, crap. Let's try it one more time. Bing. Bam. Oh. One last time. Bing. Okay, I guess I'm just a failure. Let's just have him use up his first 2, and then I'll make him... Okay, maybe I just need to stop... Oh my god. Oh my god. Don't die, Mario. Don't die. It's too soon to die. Remember what I was telling you about? You only get 1 life eventually? Keep that in mind. Anyways, there we go. Dear God, I actually needed to have... I needed to actually have the mushroom upgrade to have 6 health. And just like that, he's gone again. And with that, we have our... What is it? Second to last Grand Star? I want to take a moment real quick. I was just paying attention to the stuff in the background again. I like to actually... I'm using these streams as an excuse to actually pay better attention to things in the surrounding areas. I like what's going on here with this particular galaxy, where you got, like, 2 oceans of stars, basically. Where, like, you can see the rippling waters, like the waves just going off in the distance. And then there's one above you, too, in this sort of zero gravity kind of thing. That feels like something out of a dream. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. And with that, we have our second to last Grand Star, if I recall correctly. And on top of that, we will have unlocked the engine room. With this, the entirety of the Comet Observatory will be fully powered up, finally. Granted, though, albeit we still have one more observatory after the engine room. But with that, we have 36 stars, and I think that this is going to be where I call it quits for this stream. So, anybody that showed up, thank you for showing up. And actually, hang on real quick. Yep, I do need to collect 24 stars. That number. So wait, hang on. Does that mean that I don't need to beat the Bowser boss in the engine room? I just need to collect 24 stars now? Interesting. I'll have to see about that. I'll have to test that out. But anyways, in the meantime, thanks anybody and everybody that showed up, and hope you all have a good time. See ya.